Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. Welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. I'm your host, Aries, and this is Aaron. Today we will be reviewing the Punch Signature Cigar 6x60 Gigante.
This was the 6x60. One massive cigar, I'll tell you that. Starting off with the smell and look, etc. I picked up what was a very earthy and kind of a musky, very dark smell. And it was actually kind of intoxicating. I could actually breathe that in all day. It was very firm and well wrapped and kind of oily, just slightly. A dry hit was sweet, but missing any of the flavors that matched up to the smells.
Smell was earth, alfalfa, barleys, malts, and hops. It was one of those smells that you could just sit there all day like this and go, you know, and just enjoy yourself with it.
Yes, I'll somewhat agree. I actually really love the smell. I wish I could have an incense to make my room smell like that or something. Anyways, moving on to the first puffs of this thing. The first few puffs reminded me of a soft pretzel, except for just a slightly peppery. What about your first puff?
The first puff, I was tasting cedar, hay, and light pepper.
And getting into the first third, I thought it was creamy and leathery with it was a rather mellow beast with some minor peppery characteristics to the smoke, but no pepper taste to the smoke. If that makes any sense.
My first third was going to be cedar, pepper, and earth. And a hint of creaminess.
Okay, on to the second half. I was getting notes of leather and cream. The pepper totally disappeared, and it took about 40 minutes just to get to that through the first third. And I also noticed a slight taste that kind of reminded me of like uncracked almonds, like the smell of their shells, not the flavor of the nut itself.
This was the second third?
Mm-hmm.
Second third, I picked up black licorice, cedar, and light pepper. Not so much a pepper bomb, but just light pepper.
Sorry, I'll be with you in a second.
So, I do want to say on the first third for mine and second third, it went from mild, then to medium, and then on my third just so I could say it went back to mild for a Punch Signature.
Alright, so on to the final. The body increased to a medium to full flavor. The leather notes really picked up. I noticed some licorice and honey, which I would not have said, but somebody else said it, and it actually made a lot of sense on this. So I'll give credit to them for having said it, and since then I've actually noticed that it doesn't taste like fresh star anise, or like, kind of the taste is like how it smells, not how it tastes. If that makes any sense. I'm not terribly with it today. Anyways, I heard somebody else say it was a pepper bomb, and I cannot agree. The Punch Signature, I noticed no pepper whatsoever in it, really, except for a slight pepper taste at the very beginning and some feeling as if I'd smoked pepper, but there was no pepper taste either. So I can't say there was any pepper really to speak of in this cigar. Your thoughts on the final third?
Yeah, cedar oak earthiness with a little creaminess, and licorice from the 2/3 to the 3/3 mark. It also became mild, as I said, in the third, but it also was, how do I say it? A very sweet cigar, but not too much sweet, and very good for the price. And the finish was just long and smooth finish, in my humble
I would say overall it was very enjoyable. Now, give you an idea on the 6x60, I started mine at 3:23 in the afternoon, and I didn't finish mine until 6:07. I fell, 16 minutes shy of 3 hours on this. I've had some that have gone as far as 3.5 hours. So if you're looking at the punch signature 6x60, be prepared for a very long haul with your stove.
Most of the time, when it comes to the punch 6x60, I've been pulling out of 3 hours and 50 minutes to 4 hours and 6 minutes per cigar, except for once when I was outside in the park and it was windy.
That was even 2 hours though. We only lost an hour due to the wind. Anyways, overall, I'm going to only give it an 88. And the reason I'm going to give it an 88 isn't because of the length or anything or the flavors so much. It's just, I've had other cigars with similar flavor signatures. It's not exactly something to really write home about. The price is a little... It's not too bad.
$78 a box for the punch
It's like
signature.
almost $80. You get 18 cigars, which actually is a really good deal. That's just usually double what I usually pay for 20. So you only get shorted 2. They are also limited edition, and I don't want to get too stuck on them because they're not going to stay around forever. I should mention on the band though, everybody who's gotten these comments on the band, it is an old-fashioned band. It's got a die cut shape to it for the back where you peel it apart, and so it kind of has like a medallion, and it doesn't peel in the center of the medallion but from the edge of the medallion out, and so it's kind of looped around the end. It comes off very easy. It does sometimes slide right off, and it's a very beautiful looking band. I really love the band from the signature.
I do too. It said 1840, and then it said punch, and it shows a guy sitting smoking a cigar and the dog looking at him.
So there you have it pretty much. I definitely recommend this to anybody who's looking for a nice long cigar and a fairly mild to medium cigar. I didn't find it too full-bodied. It kind of picked up in the final third. So it's actually a good entry for somebody who wants to get into full body, because you start out mild and you get 2/3 of the cigar at least before you get to the full bodied. So at least you've still smoked most of it before it might get too hard for you. And I've never seen a cigar that's too hard for it, at least for myself.
I wanted to say, for my own records and opinions to you all, that even though, as I explained, the tastes and the price, I'm going to be giving this cigar a 90, just flat out right. It's a great cigar. I do want to say to you viewers out there that this cigar, which some cigar magazines and some other places that sell these cigars, which they're going on clearance in places, by the way, the cigarettes.
They're clearance almost everywhere.
Hold on, let me finish.
Finch Cigars has them on clearance.
Yeah,
CI,
the same price that they selling them that I bought it for. But let me finish. Point is for a cigar smoker, the cigar is not a complicated cigar, a complex one with like 5 billion flavors.
No, but I will say that I really did like the fact that the leatheriness and the creaminess that was in this cigar just kind of seemed to sometimes go from the more leathery to the more creamy, from the more creamy back to the more leathery. It did kind of change it around, and then the licorice and honey in the end, which I may have noticed in the whole thing, but I wasn't really looking for it. And sometimes the power of suggestion can be very powerful. So the main thing that I'm going to say, though, is that if you're looking for a long cigar, you want something nice and tasty that's not going to be too strong and not going to exactly break the pocketbook either, you got a great deal right here, especially with the Gigante. There was really no burn issues with it until we took it to the park, and when we took it out to the park, it canoed all over the place. See, we're outside right now, but we have quite a bit of wind cover and shelter in here from blankets and stuff that we put up, and so it doesn't have too many burn issues being out here on the porch.
Yes, exactly. So, with that said, you know, I highly recommend this cigar for anyone who wants to try it before it goes out of style. I also wanted to mention, since he didn't mention it, I was really excited about getting it because it had a glass top on the top of the cigar box.
Oh yes, the box itself. We don't have that in front of us to be able to show you, but yes, there is a little small glass viewing window, which is really cool on it.
And the entire cigar box is made of Spanish cedar.
Well, most of them are anymore. Some of them aren't, but it's also painted like red, white, and blue too, which is kind of cool, especially with the 4th coming up. And it's probably a good 4th smoke, by the way. Pretty nice note outside too, or room note. The smell to it's pretty appealing.
So there you have it. Please add and subscribe, post comments, feedback, suggestions. Thank you, and may God bless the world.